Okay, so this 3.3 is all function operations, and I'm just going to go through some problems that are like your homework. So if we're given these three functions, so we have f of x equals 4x, g of x equals x minus 2, and h of x equals 8x squared minus 21x plus 10. Okay, so if we have g of x plus h of x, the other way you will see this written is g plus h of x. These two things mean the exact same thing. Okay, so g plus h of x is the same thing as taking the g of x function and adding it to the h of x function. So if we do that, so I'll put let's put work for number 1 here. G of x is x minus 2, so we're going to go x minus 2 plus h of x, which is 8x squared minus 21x plus 10. If we add these together, we can just combine like terms, so that's 8x squared. These two combine to be negative 20x, and these combine to be 8. So the answer to this first one would be 8x squared minus 20x plus 8. Okay, if we're subtracting them, again, the other way this will be written is h minus g of x. Okay, those two things mean the same thing. So if we're subtracting g from h, so h of x is first, so 8x squared minus 21x plus 10 minus g of x, which is x minus 2. Remember, whenever we subtract, we're going to distribute our subtraction sign. So this becomes a negative x, that becomes a positive 2. Okay, and then we combine like terms, so we have 8x squared. These two combine to be negative 22x, and these combine to be 12. So then this is 8x squared minus 22x plus 12. Okay. Multiplying. So there's two ways you'll see this one. You'll either see it of like f of x times h of x, or you could also see f times h of x. The other way it will be written is fh of x. If there's no multiplication sign right there, we just assume that it's a multiplication sign. Okay? So then if we're multiplying f and h, so f of x is 4x, and h of x is 8x squared, minus 21x plus 10. So we can just distribute this in. So that's going to be 32x cubed minus, 84x plus 40. So this would be 32x cubed, this would be squared, and this would be x. Minus 84x squared plus 40x. Okay, this one, so h of x over g of x. Again, the other way you'll see this is h over g of x. That means the same thing, and they're telling us a hint right here. You will need to factor h of x. So if we do this, so h of x, that's the 8x squared minus 21x plus 10 over g of x, which is x minus 2. So if we have to factor h of x, well, I'm going to start by multiplying this over, and so I get 80, and I'm seeing what adds to be negative 21. Oh, what is that? I think it's 16 and 5. Yeah, 16 and 5. So then I'm just going to take these values, and they're going to replace that 21. So this will be 8x squared minus 16x minus 5x plus 10. I can group these first two, group the second two. Between these two, I can pull out an 8x. Between these two, I can pull out a negative 5. So I have 8x, and then x minus 2 minus 5, and Again, we have the x minus 2. So one of our factors is x minus 2. The other is 8x minus 5. So then that's what's going to be this top part. So this will be x minus 2, 8x minus 5 over x minus 2. Well, the x minus 2's cancel, so our final answer here is 8x minus 5. Okay. For this last one, I didn't really go over this. There won't be one like this on your test, but g of x over f of x, and we want to know what the restriction is. So if I take g of x, which is x minus 2, over f of x, which is 4x, we're trying to see what value would we have to plug in here for this to equal 0. Remember, we can't divide by 0. That's just like a math concept. So we need to know what number do we plug in here that will make it so we can't divide by 0. Well, we can just set it equal to 0 and solve it. So if you divide this by 4, you get x equals 0. And that means if we were to plug 0 in right here, I would end up with a 0 on the bottom, which would, you can't divide by 0. So that's our restriction. So this is x can't equal 0. And for, I think all of these questions, that one is 0 for like this question in particular. Okay. It'll give you different versions, but that one will stay 0. Okay, let's go through just a couple more. So this one, I already talked about this. I just wanted to talk about this means that you're multiplying. So this is the same as f times g of x, which would be f of x times g of x. Okay, and that is different than f of g of x. This open circle means something different, which I think I'm going to talk about right now. So the open circle does mean something different. So if we go to this, the open circle means composition, and it means that we're plugging this into f of x. Okay, so we can rewrite this like f of g of negative 4. Well, I can take this second piece of this, g of negative 4, and I'm going to plug it into the f function. Okay, and then we work inside out. So first I'm going to figure out what g of negative 4 is. Well, here's our g function. If I plug in negative 4 to there, so g of negative 4, I get negative 4 minus 8, which would be negative 12. So that's going to take the place of this. And then now I'm doing f of negative 12. So f of negative 12, well, that's going to be negative 12 squared minus 4 times negative 12, which negative 12 squared is 144. Negative 4 times 12 is 48, which that equals 192, I think. I'm going to double check myself. So 144 plus 48, yep, is 192. So this would equal 192. This one is just doing it the opposite way. So this one would do g of f of negative 4. So we would find this first, and then we would plug it into the g. Okay. This one, so f of g of x means we're plugging g of x into f. So for this one, if I take f of g of x, well, I know g of x is x minus 4, so this will be f of x minus 4, which means this is going to replace all the x's in f. So this is going to be f of x minus 4 equals x minus 4 squared minus 1 times x minus 4. Okay, this piece means we have it twice, so x minus 4 times x minus 4 minus 1, x minus 4. So then if we do our x minus 4's, that's x squared, negative 4x, negative 4x, and 16. So this will be x squared minus 8x plus 16. Distribute this in, so you get negative x plus 4, which means we have x squared minus 9x plus 20. That's what this equals. Okay. Let's see, what else did I put on here? Oh, and I guess that's it. Okay. If you do have, there are some that would be like f of x. That means that I'm going to take the f of x function and plug it back into itself. So here's our x function. This would be f of x squared minus 1x. So that means I'm plugging that in. So f of x squared minus 1x is the same as x squared minus 1x squared minus 1 times x squared minus 1x. Okay, and then you would just simplify that down. Okay, you'd write this out twice. And then you just keep going with that. Okay, hop on Google Meets if you have questions. Bye, guys.